नमस्ते बिटिया, सदा खुश रहो। I am JVN Dr. Alka Jain, MD in Homeopathy, Associate Professor in the Department of Community Medicine, Faculty of Homeopathic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. So, the topic for today's lecture is Purification of Water, Part 2. In previous lecture, this is Part 1, I have told about the impurities of water and the health hazards of water contaminations. In this lectures, I will tell about the purification of water on large scale. So purification of water on large scales required in towns and cities. And the procedures or steps which are required for purification at large scales. The first step is storage. The second one is sedimentation. Third one is filtration. And fourth one is disinfection. So come to the first point. This is storage. But before going to the first steps, I will discuss about the purification on medium scale. When source of water are wells, springs, tanks, etc., then water is purified by the addition of bleaching powder or chlorinated lime, as it is cheap and easy to use and reliable and safe. So purification on medium scale requires bleaching powder. And these are the benefits of bleaching powder, that it is very cheap in cost, easy to use and reliable and safe. Purification of small scale, these are the domestic methods. In the first comes is boiling for 5 to 10 minutes kills almost all organisms and removes temporary hardness. So this is the extra benefit of boiling. The second one is distillation, not commonly used due to higher cost and used in only labs. Third one is addition of chemicals, and these chemicals are bleaching powder, and bleaching powder is 5% solution used in doses of 3 to 6 drops per liter, and the contact time is half an hour. And the other chemicals, the disinfectants are chlorine tablets and halogen tablets, and the dose is 1 tablet per liter. Third one is iodine solution. This is 2 drops of 2% solution in 1 liter. Potassium permanganate, and it is an amount that gives just pink coloration to the water. And the next one is alum, and it is used for turbid water in a dose of 0.1 to 0.4 grains per liters of per 5 liters of water. Now, purification of water in emergency or in epidemics. So, what we have to do for purification? Either it is boiling for 5 to 10 minutes, or HTH means high test hypochlorite, which used in granular form, and the dose is 1 gram per 1000 liters of water. The next is liquid bleach. This is 5% sodium hypochlorite solution, and the dose is 14 ml per 1000 liters of water. And the next one is bleaching powder, and it is used in doses of 2.5 grams per 1000 liters of water. Now come to the purification of purification of water on large scale. And the step is storage, filtration, and chlorination. What will we do in storage? And in storage, the raw water drawn from the sources like rivers, canals, lakes, tanks, ponds is stored in big concentrate tanks. And these tanks are called storage tanks, and also sedimentation tanks. After sedimentation, there is a fall in ammonia and rise in nitrates, and due to oxidation of organic matter by aerobic bacteria. Sedimentation may be hastened by the addition of alum in a dose of 35 milligram per liter for a detention period of 4 to 6 hours. And sedimentation will prevent clogging of the filters. Limitation to storage includes algae growth, which can be controlled by addition of copper sulfate in a dose of 1 to 5 kilogram per 5,000 cubic meter. So when water is stored for about 1 or 2 days, uh, in this period, water becomes purified in chemical means, in that by aerobic bacteria oxidize the organic matter with the help of dissolved oxygens. The other mode of purification is by physically. Physically means when the water is stored due to suspended suspension, the suspended impurities will settle down by the gravitational force, and water is purified naturally by physical means. So by physically, chemically, and the third one is by biologically. And through biologically, the natural death of pathogens. So water is purified physically, chemically, and biologically to some extent. The next step is filtration. Filtration through sand is the oldest and universally most accepted methods throughout the world. Through filtration, 98 to 99% bacteria are removed along with other impurities through filtration. And this step is done mainly to remove the pathogens and to a certain extent the colloidal particles or suspended impurities which have escaped in the first step. This is storage. So for filtration, there are two types of filters. The first one is slow sand filters, and it is also known as biological filters. And the second one is rapid sand filters, and the other name is mechanical filters. The first one is slow sand filters filtration, and this was first used in 1804 in Scotland and subsequently in London. During 19th century, it was used throughout the world. Slow sand filters consist of concrete brickwork, rectangular basin containing carefully selected graded sand supported on gravel and stones. Slow sand filters requires a vast area, and therefore they are constructed outside the city limits, below the ground to a depth of about 4 meters. Each slow sand filters consist uh, a rectangular masonry tank measuring about zero point 0.1 to 1 acre in area. Two or more such tanks are conducted so that one or another should always remain functioning to maintain the supply of water. And these are the elements of a slow sand filter. And the first one is supernatant water, and the supernatant water, the width is 1 to 1.5 meter, and it is the uppermost layer of raw water. It provides a constant head of water and provides a waiting period of 3 to 12 hours. The second one is sand band layer. The second layer is sand band, and it is 1 meter thick, supported by a layer of fine and then coarse gravel, and finally by the stones. The third layer is drainage system for filtered water, and it consists of a perforated pipes. And the fourth layer contains filter control valves, and these valves and devices incorporated in the outlet pipe system to maintain a constant rate of filtration. Venturimeter measures bed resistance or loss of head. So here it is a pictures showing the different layers of a slow sand filter. The uppermost layer, this is raw water, and the width is 1 to 1.5 meter in water. And the second one is sand filter media, and it is the width is 0.6 to 1.4 meter in depth. The third one is gravel support layer, and the last one is the drainage system. As the water percolates through the sand, it is purified by the physical, chemical, or biological process. So, in this pictures, you can clearly see that the different layers of sand bands. And here it is porous clothes, then sand 0.15 millimeter in size. Then the second layer of sand, the coates, it is 0.35 millimeter in size. And the last one is 0.60 millimeter in size. And there is a porous clothes and it is a water outlet. Now the actions of slow sand filters. So it acts all the by three means: the physical, chemical, and biological means. In physically, mechanical straining or sedimentation. Sedimentation is due to the constant head of water pressure over the sand bed, and mechanical straining of turbid materials takes place in the interstices of the sand particles. The chemically, it is oxidation of organic matter by aerobic bacteria, and biologically occurs through the vital layer. And this is the vital layer, is also known as, it is the heart of the filter. Efficiency of the filter depends upon the vital layer. So it is a small detail about the water layer, because it is a very important topic which always or mostly comes in your exams. So what is water layer? It is a slimy growth known as smudge stack water vital layer, jugular layer, or biological layer. So questions may come as it about short note on jugular layer or biological layer or water layer. And this layer is a slimy and gelatinous, and it consists of thread like algae and numerous forms of life, plankton, diatoms, and bacteria. So after uh, forming of vital layer, the filter is now set that there is a ripening of the filter, and it is the heart of the slow sand filter. And it forms after 2 to 3 days. The jugular layer absorbs the colloidal particles, arrests the pathogens, and oxidize the organic matters and anatomical substances, thereby killing the pathogens, bleach the color particles partially, and by removing, arresting the color producing substances, and absorbs carbon dioxide, nitrates, and phosphates. The water becomes bacteria free. Thus, the biological layer is considered as the heart of the filter. Until this layer is formed, the water is run to waste. The rate of the filtration of water is zero point 0.1 to zero point 0.4 cubic meter per hour per meter square area of the sand band surfaces. 99.9% of the bacteria are removed, and the filter water is drained through the under drainage pipes. So these are the advantages of a slow sand filter, and these are simple to construct and operate. Cost of construction cheaper than rapid sand filter, and the it acts all by the three means: this is physically, chemically, and biologically. And the bacterial count reduction is 99.9%. It is very highly effective filter. And E. coli reduction is 99% to 99.9%, almost clear of E. coli. The disadvantage of the slow sand filter is it is an old fashioned and outdated method of water purification, but in some places it is still in use. Initial cost is low, but maintenance cost is much more than rapid sand filter, and these filters needs a lot of space. So this is the session powered by a digital version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. And girls, if you have any query related to this session, please mention in the comment box. Thank you.